Hello, everybody, and welcome back to NCAA 2005. We are back with some more Idaho Vandal football, and we have a contract extension. I didn't get to this at the end of the last video. I didn't sim the rest of the bowl games, but apparently after just this one season, this one 8-5 season with a bowl victory, the Vandals program is going to extend us another extension here for 3 more years. So we didn't accomplish 2 of their 3 goals. One of which being beat Boise State, which is funny. So they really want us to win that rivalry game, but we didn't accomplish that goal. But I think because winning a bowl game and upping our prestige, that really matters a lot in these games. So I think we're probably going to be able to coax on that, and hopefully if we can get to another bowl or win another couple bowls across those next 3 seasons, we should be able to maintain our job here. So, looking over the stats, and our quarterback had a great season, by the way. I didn't focus on that too much, but our quarterback had an amazing season. Probably one of the best seasons in the Sun Belt, I would argue. Number 6 is his worst season, just period. I mean, they're all pretty much around the same average, especially average yards per carry, but yeah, his worst season. But he does great receiving-wise, a lot better. He's our second best receiver on the team. In terms of receptions, he's the best, but in terms of yardage and touchdowns, he's about the second best, which he hasn't done really. He's not really receiving back, but this year it really worked out for him. Conrad McNeil even got some All-American honors in the conference with his season. 11 touchdowns will probably do that for you. We're still looking for a 1,000-yard receiver, though. Still haven't had one. The offensive line, same story, different year, same story, man. It just kind of inconsistencies all around here, but at least more pancakes than sacks for most of them, so I guess I'll take that. But it's not as efficient as I would like it to be. Our center has another bad year, but he's going to graduate. He'll be gone, so we're losing quite a bit of people. Zach Weiss, though, good Lord. 111 tackles, 27 TFLs, and 8 sacks. I mean, by far the best player defensively on our team, and you could just book that. But even Jeff Williams in his freshman season, 99 tackles, one away from 100, man. We are starting to build up our linebacking core here at Idaho, man. That's starting to become an area of the team that we can rely on to be consistently strong, which I wouldn't think it would be. But number 37 gets 5 picks and All-American honors before he graduates, so that's nice to see as well. We have quite a bit of All-Americans on this team here, but Norman Mays completely regresses, man. He regresses down to that 52 overall that he is. Has a completely god-awful season. Probably would have won a couple more games if he had done a little bit better, maybe. Who knows? But Arkansas State has a great year in conference, that is. They still lost 5 games, but only one of those is in conference, so they win the Sun Belt. Utah State also has a good year, going 8-4. North Texas back in the fold here, but still kind of a rough season for them. Middle Tennessee State also ahead of us here, but we tie them in conference. And then Troy State, Lafayette, and Monroe all sitting behind. And New Mexico State is a huge fall off here, so the prestige you can see kind of bouncing back and forth with each team. As we look at it. So Oklahoma, your national champion here, is number 1. Florida State moves up to 2. Texas A&M to 3. Arkansas to 4. Ohio State moves up to 5. Miami drops all the way down to 6. Virginia Tech 7th here. Wake Forest and Maryland and LSU round out your top 10. NC State, the ACC champs, lose to Boston College and drop all the way to 11th from 3rd. Minnesota's 12th. Penn State 13th. Boston College 14th. And Alabama drops all the way to 15th to round out the top 15. Then you got Northwestern, Florida, Oregon, Texas, and Kansas State, who wasn't ranked, to round out the top 20. And then Southern Miss, Iowa, Pitt, Cal, and then Michigan sneaking into the rankings at the end of the year as how you round out your top 25. So I'm going to adjust the budgets again. The disciplinary stuff has not been a huge issue so far. I know that there's a thing in this game where your school can get put on probation. I don't know what that means or how that happens, and I'm probably going to find out the hard way, and it's probably going to derail this entire series, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I decided to add more points to recruiting and training since this team needs to continue to get better. I think we're on this cusp here where we kind of need to just get over a little bit of a hump here and become a good, better team. And I think if we add more points to training each year, we'll get there. So, but looking at graduations, there's not a ton of people leaving, but yeah, there's like a handful of very important people we're losing. So we're losing both quarterbacks, 16 and 11, our transfer from Oregon. Both are leaving. We're losing our starting tight end, our best DB, and of course our starting running back. So, and I mean, there's other starters on the roster too. Like we're losing our center, which is huge too, but So there's a lot of big shoes to fill here, and now let's check and see how we did recruiting wise. So we get a 4-star quarterback, the 12th quarterback in the country. We also get a 4-star tight end. So at least those positions will be replaced. We get a 3-star athlete as well, so we'll see exactly what he excels at. We got another tight end as well, another option at quarterback, a couple options at quarterback, another center here, another free safety, defensive tackle. These are all positions that we needed at least another guy or depth position at because of the graduations. Not necessarily a starter, but just more depth. But this recruiting class gets us at an 84, so we do drop in terms of recruiting. Still not the worst. There's a few teams in the Sun Belt that sit below 84, but we are definitely far from the top here. So North Texas, by the way, has been in the top 20 of recruiting every single year, so it's weird that they keep struggling. But heading to position changes, Matt Norwood is our 3-star athlete that we recruited. He's actually the best at quarterback. He's a 78 overall quarterback, which is better than the 4-star that we just recruited, who I think is a 72. So we're going to put Matt Norwood at quarterback, and he's probably going to be the starter for us this year. But we have two, very viable options at quarterback, and I think Matt Norwood is technically a transfer, so he's just coming in as a sophomore, I believe. So we have a freshman, and then we have a sophomore. So probably that 4-star that we recruited will probably end up being better than Matt Norwood in the long run. But we definitely at least have quarterback for the next 3 or 4 seasons figured out. I would think so. So I wouldn't think we have to worry about it for the next few seasons. So looking over training, though, we're getting quite a bit of guys that are trending over that 70. So I thought it was a bit concerning at first, but it seems that a lot of the roster is starting to trend over that 70 to 75 mark, and we even have quite a bit of 80s sitting around the roster as well. So I definitely will start showcasing individual games in year number 5 because I think the roster is finally going to be in a good enough spot where we can kind of rely on the team to at least compete and maybe even win on a game-by-game basis. So looking over our depth chart, Matt Norwood is going to start at quarterback, but Ross Chester, the 4-star that we recruited, is going to be the backup here at 72. And then even David Worthington, another guy that we just recruited for depth, he's a solid option too. So yeah, I think we're good at quarterback for the next few seasons. Keith Bridges is up to an 82 overall as a sophomore as our starting running back. Marcus Donnelly is behind him, 72 as a sophomore, so I'm feeling good about that as well. Matt English, rough. Dylan Barker as a junior is going to be our starting fullback. Kind of weirdly enough, we have Patrick Wilkerson kind of sitting behind on fullback, so I don't know. He's probably going to be like the 4th or 5th guy on the depth chart for receiving. So Nicholas Bullard is our transfer from Nebraska. He's going to be our top receiver. Conrad McNeil's up to a 78 as well. He'll be number 2. Patrick Wilkerson's number 3rd on the depth chart, and then Dylan Lawrence is a number 4. So not really any receiver standing out, but a lot of consistency at that position. So it's not really a huge fall off until like the 5th or 6th spot, which I'm fine with. Byron Hubbard here is going to be our starting tight end. Also, Patrick Wilkerson listed 2nd there. I don't know why. We'll probably have to change that. But Marcus Kirk is going to be our starting left tackle as a sophomore. Dio Tanner is going to be starting left guard as a junior. Our new starting center is going to be Curtis Daly. He's a junior. Not really good there. We couldn't really fully replace that, but yeah, we're going to move out on right guard. We're going to put James Daly as a starting right guard here. He's a left tackle, backup left tackle. He's going to start at right guard. And then Robert Beasley is our best offensive lineman. He's an 80 overall at right tackle. And then Alton O'Neill is up to an 84 overall on the left side. And then Carlos Calhoun is up to an 86 on the right side. Our defensive tackle position is starting to get better with Vernon McIntosh at 76, DeMarco Hickman up to a 74, Anton Paris also up to a 74. So we're feeling pretty good there. Bryant Winborn, we're probably going to leave on the left side here. Zach Weiss, of course, going to hold down the middle linebacking position. And on the right side, we have kind of a hole. So we're going to put Jeff Williams to start on the right side once again. I believe we did the same configuration last season as well, and it ended up working out pretty good. So at DB, Michael Harris up to an 82 as a senior. Claude Orr is up to a 75. So DB is probably going to be a bit of a hole here as we get further down. That might be something we need to really kind of address next offseason in terms of recruiting. So Keon Wesley is a junior up to a 74. And then our best player probably on the team, Warren Gross, our strong safety, is up to an 89. And then Norman Mays gets up to a 56, so we'll probably still struggle with kicking the football. And then Abraham Walden, our punter, is up to a 74. So I was hoping the kicker would get up to a 74, and the punter maybe could be in the 50s. That's what I would hope. So here's a quick glance at the schedule. I tried to kind of focus on who did bad in terms of recruiting or from last season and try to add them into the mix, rather than just picking what I thought were the 118th or 119th worst teams. So we're going to start the season where we ended it at San Jose State. Then, of course, we have Boise State, and then we're going to play Kentucky, who's one of the worst teams in the SEC. And then, of course, we have our conference schedule, which doesn't change. It's always going to rotate and be about the same here. And then, of course, I kept our rivalry with Montana. I still believe we need the gimme game, so I'm just going to keep the gimme game until I feel like we don't need it anymore. But it might be holding us back. Who knows? But I think that winning that rivalry is one of the only things that helps us keep our jobs, because we can't win the Boise State rivalry. But when we come back in the next video, we're going to start with year number 5, and we're going to watch the San Jose State game. So hope you guys enjoy, and hope to see you guys when we play the Spartans.